All right, let's talk about the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. It sounds amazing, right? But it always comes back to this one huge question. How much money do you actually need to pull it off? Well, today we're going to break it down and find that exact answer.
So, what is that magic number for you? The one that means you can finally say work is optional? This isn't just a number, it's your finish line, it's your freedom number.
I bet when I asked that, your mind probably jumped to some crazy high number, right? Like tens of millions of dollars. A lot of people think that. But what if I told you the real answer is actually much, much simpler and way more achievable than you think? So, how do we get there? Well, it all starts with one core idea. This is kind of the foundation of all early retirement math. And honestly, it's a beautifully simple concept. It's called the 4% rule. Now, this isn't just some number someone pulled out of thin air. Nope. The 4% rule is backed by some serious research, a famous study that looked at decades of stock market history. And what it found was pretty amazing. You can safely take out 4% of your total investments every single year. And historically, you won't run out of money for at least 30 years. It's a really solid guideline. And this is where it gets really, really cool. Because that one simple rule, it leads us directly to a super powerful yet incredibly simple formula, a formula that's going to give you your exact FIRE number.
Okay, you ready for it? Let's get right to the solution. This is the formula that's going to turn that vague dream of retiring early into a real concrete target you can actually aim for.
There it is. Seriously, that's it. Your FIRE number is just your annual expenses times 25. And did you catch the most important part? The whole thing is based on what you spend, not what you earn. That's the key right there. Okay, theory is one thing, but let's actually put this math to work. Let's run through a quick example to see exactly how this plays out in the real world. So let's just say you've tracked all your spending for a whole year, everything. And you figure out that your total annual expenses are $40,000. That's what it costs you to live your life for 1 year. Your rent or mortgage, your food, your car, all of it. Okay, so now we just take that number and plug it straight into our formula. We take that $40,000 in annual expenses and multiply it by 25.
And voila, your FIRE number is $1 million. See how that works? If you have $1 million invested, you can pull out 4% of that, which is $40,000, to live on every year, and in theory, your money should last. It's just the math working in reverse.
So this brings us to a really, really important point, the lifestyle connection. What this math shows us is that your everyday spending habits are directly tied to how soon you can achieve financial freedom. They're basically two sides of the exact same coin. But hang on, if the formula is that easy, what's the most important first step? What do you absolutely have to know before you can even start? You guessed it, it's understanding exactly where your money is going. You have got to know what it costs for you to live your life. And that means tracking everything, the big stuff like housing and transportation, but also the smaller things like entertainment or travel. You need that final accurate number for your annual expenses. And this is where you see the real power you have. Just look at this. If your lifestyle costs $60,000 a year, you need $1.5 million. But if you can design a life you enjoy for just $40,000 a year, your target drops by $500,000. That is a huge difference. That could be years, maybe even a decade, shaved off your time to retirement. And look, let's be super clear about this. The goal here isn't about living on bread and water. It's not about deprivation. It's about being conscious and intentional. It's about designing a life you genuinely love that just happens to be affordable, so your money can start working for you instead of the other way around. So, once you have your number, your target, everything changes. It's no longer just a vague idea of saving money. It becomes a clear goal. And hitting that goal, that means freedom. The path to FIRE then is actually pretty straightforward. Step 1, track your annual expenses. You got to know your starting point. Step 2, multiply that number by 25. That's your destination. And step 3, build an investment strategy to get you from here to there. You see, with this simple math, financial independence is no longer some vague, far-off dream. It becomes a real, measurable goal, something you can actually work towards, step by step, month by month. And ultimately, that's what this is all about, isn't it? Getting to the point where your investments are big enough to support your lifestyle so that work becomes optional. It's about getting to a place where you and only you get to decide how you spend your time.
That is the true promise of financial independence.